Good evening, no, good evening. My goodness. I think it's evening because I've been up a very long time. Apologies, folks. Let's just go. Um, oh dear, oh dear. I wasn't quite ready then to go on camera. Anyway, it's been a bit of a mad scramble to get ready and to get live by 9:30. And the reason I'm going live at 9:30 and not 10:30 is I've got a very busy schedule today and lots of bits and pieces going on. So just thought I'd come on here live, but I have been up for hours and hours. Um, I was supposed to be getting on with my Advent cards. No, not my Advent cards, my Christmas cards for the charity that I'm doing them for. And last night I was so tired. I went to bed mega early, and so I didn't get any of the cards done. But by about 3 o'clock this morning, I'd had plenty of sleep. And so I got up, or 3, 4, was it, whatever time it was. I got up and started doing some of the cards. Hang on, let's bring this a bit nearer. Whoa, I've just knocked a whole pile of stuff on the floor, but never mind, it is what it is. So I'm just going to bring those over. So not sure how many people will come on live, but I'll just assume that we're going to get an audience on the live and on the replay. Didn't give you much notice, I know, which makes it more difficult for you to tune in at a particular time. Anyway, I found my hat in the cat hat, so just got a variety here. Do you like my hat? I hope you do. Hope you like my glasses as well. But I still haven't got anybody to lift the boxes, the Christmas boxes, down off the top of my wardrobe. So I'm hoping to do that soon, where all the rest of my Christmas stuff is, so that I can have different things to amuse you. So, as I say, I've been up mega early because I wasn't tired after I'd had a sleep. I'd gone to bed early, and then I woke up not tired, so I came into the lounge and did some crafting, and I've done loads of crafting. I've cut out, I haven't actually finished anything very much, but they're all ready to go. I mean, lots of them there's 20 cards I've got to make, and most of them they're all started, but I don't do one and finish it and do one and finish it. I'll do bits to this and bits to that, so I batch make them like that. And this one I decided to do mostly white. It's got to have a sentiment in the middle, but there's some snowflake. I don't know if you can see, there's some snowflakes on there. I found lots of lovely snowflake dies and cutouts while I was rummaging. So what I did, I went in my craft room and I rummaged all around my craft room, and I found loads of the things for Christmas cards and Christmas making. Hello for those of you coming in. Not quite sure who's there at the moment, but I can see people coming in. And so I gathered all the Christmas bits, and then I put them on one of my new trolleys, and loaded the trolley up with all the crafty bits and pushed it into here in the lounge. There's a lot of crafty bits in the lounge anyway, but this trolley has all the bits on that I want to make these cards. So that, as I say, that was one that's nearly finished. It's just got to have a sentiment in there, but I thought I'd make that one mostly white. There's a little cheeky snowman sitting up the top there, and lots of snowflakes. I've got so many different snowflake patterns now, and I was cutting these all out individually, and then I found a die that you cut out, and when you cut it out, it had a lot of snowflakes that dropped out of it. The shapes dropped out of it, so I've used some of those on there. I've got another one that's sort of on the snowy idea. They're not all going to be snow cards. Some of them have got going to have gingerbread men. Look, there's a cheeky gingerbread man I've got cut out. Whoops, don't know if you can see it. There we go. Loads and loads of things. I've got a tray here. Whoops. I have got a tray. Whoops. Let's take the bits off the top. And this tray is full. I don't know if you can see. It's full of bits that I've cut out ready to go on all these cards. And then there are some of the cards there. And I like these cards because they fold flat to go in an envelope. So they're what we call the pop-up box card. They fold flat to go in an envelope, and then they pop up and stand up nicely, and then they can be decorated in all sorts of ways. So I'm really enjoying making these. That's wonderful. But also, I had a message from Rebecca last night, Rebecca Savage, who works for Embracing Age Isle of Wight, and I had found lots of lots of little soft toys that I'd made in the past and that other people had made in the Go Live Granny community, and I found them in a box. Now, we did sell lots of the soft toys that the community made back in the pandemic. We were knitting away to keep ourselves sane, and we did a lot of knitting for charity. Hello, Jane. Thank you. I'm going to have a lovely day. Nice to see you. So, so back in during the pandemic, we did lots of knitting as a community, and a lot of the stuff got sold and the money given to charities, or some of the things were for charity. Like we made smoothie hats that actually Age UK wanted the hats because they go off and they get sold. They get put on the little smoothie bottles and sold in the supermarket. So we did that. We did all sorts of things, and most of the stuff. So when we had finished with whatever charity needed the stuff, we were selling the things in Isle of Wool. Helen at Isle of Wool allowed us to sell the stuff in there. I said, can I rent a shelf? When she knew I was doing it for charity, she said, well, I'm not going to charge you. So she for quite a long time, we were very lucky, and we sold a lot of our stuff in Isle of Wool, and the money went off to, every time £50 came in, I then we nominated another charity and gave them £50. So we did quite a lot. I can't remember how much we did, but we did do quite a lot. But now we don't do that anymore. Well, we're not doing a lot of knitting, and Helen obviously needs the space for her business, which is fair enough. We were so grateful to her, but we did sell a lot, and also we knitted the 12 knits of Christmas and displayed it. She asked us to do a shop display, and we knitted the 12 knits of Christmas. And I'm delighted to say, those of you who don't know, I have passed that on. I did say it on another broadcast, but I have passed on the 12 knits of Christmas to Rebecca, who's coming today to collect some more stuff. And that they have put up the 12 knits of Christmas, which is basically a knitted version of it's a book. The 12 knits of Christmas is a pattern book, and in the pattern, in the book, you can make all the things from the 12 days of Christmas, but in a knitted form. And so that's what we did as a community. We had some amazing people. Somebody said, well, I'll do the drummers, and somebody said, I'll do all the ladies dancing, and I'll do, and I had some lovely volunteers. I did the partridge. You might call me a cheapskate. There's only one partridge, and I only had to do one partridge. I was going to do the 3 French hens as well, but I had so many things going on that somebody else, I can't remember who it was, but one of the community said, would you like me to do the French hens? So it wasn't me that did the French hens, although I'd originally intended to. So anyway, that display has gone up in Little Hayes, which is a care home on the Isle of Wight, and Embracing Age Isle of Wight is a charity that's, well, it's not just on the Isle of Wight, it's on the mainland as well, and it's been set up by the daughter of one of my friends who lives here on the Isle of Wight, and she was very concerned that people in care homes don't get Christmas cards, they don't get gifts, they don't get birthday cards because they don't have any relatives. So Embracing Age is the charity that was set up in order for that to happen. And so I can only talk about the experience on the Isle of Wight, but there are people who meet up regularly and make greetings cards. It's a lovely care home in Totland Bay. Thank you, Lynn. Jane, sorry. I don't know exactly where it was. I thought it was over that way, but it's amazing. And so, and the lady who's in charge of it has been so delighted with our display. And actually, if you look at the Embracing Age page, each day they're putting up the items. So yesterday the 6 geese laying went up. I've seen the others. I've seen the partridge, the 2 calling birds, 3 French hens. No, wait a minute. 2 turtle doves. Sorry, 2 turtle doves, 3 French hens, and 4 calling birds have all gone up. 5 gold rings. I must have missed seeing the 5 gold rings because I can't remember. I'll have to look at their page and see. Often they'll tag me in it so that I can share it with my community. So up to today, it will be the swans are swimming. And boy, am I glad that I found the swans are swimming, because when I handed the box over, the bag over with all the things in, as I thought, I suddenly realized that I hadn't, when I checked it, I hadn't got all the items in there, and I didn't know where they were. They'd got most of the things from the 8 Maids of Milking upwards. All the characters, the like more like a human character, they were all there. Well, except they weren't. There was a dancing lady missing, and there was a piper missing that I didn't realize. And I had no idea where the missing items were. And I looked all through my bedroom. I got lots of bags and things to go through in my bedroom. I'm glad I'm getting you singing it now. No, it's one. So let's go down. I don't know. Was it the 10? Sometimes I get that some people put the pipers and the drummers the other way round. So I think we had 12 pipers piping, 11 drummers drumming, 9. Wait a minute. Oh, the Lords of Leap. Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not going to try it now because I'm going to get myself muddled up. But they were amazing what my community made. They were absolutely amazing. And they are being so loved, being now set up in the care home. So I gave them to Rebecca for the care homes, because they've got lots of care homes that they're looking, that they're helping now. So maybe this year it's at Little Hayes, maybe next year it will go to a different of the care homes, so that they can share the love all round. And I am absolutely delighted that they're not stuck in my cupboard, but they're on display for lots of people to see. So that's amazing. But I did find, when I was trying to do some sorting out after Rebecca had been, I've got some Kallax units, IKEA Kallax units, and it's got all my wool in it, and it's got half finished things in there, and all sorts of bits and pieces to do with my knitting. And I found that I had got some half made things, and I found that I've got some made things, some things that were left over from when we did the carnival, and people made things to go on the carnival float, and when we did things to sell in the shop for charity. And there were actually some complete things there. So I thought, well, I know that some of the dementia patients that are in the care homes love. Oh, you missed me yesterday, Sarah. I didn't expect you to be on, Sarah, because I broadcast in our evening, which meant you would have been fast asleep there in Australia, and I didn't expect to see you. I would have been very surprised if you'd come into the broadcast, but I had a day where I can't remember what I was doing, but I remember that I couldn't do the stream for some reason. I can't even remember what happened yesterday, so we won't worry about that, because I am clock watching today. I've got Rebecca coming at about 10:30 to collect some things from me to take for the care homes, so I must be finished before then. But I'm just filling in on various bits and pieces. So in one of these boxes, I found some little toys, and the dementia patients that are in the care homes absolutely love having the little toys. I sent last week. I'd made a big unicorn that some of you might have seen. It's been here in my house for the last 2 years. I think I made it during COVID, and it was sitting on the back of my sofa. Then I made a Winnie the Pooh, because I knitted that when it was Winnie the Pooh Day, just because I could, and that's been sitting on the sofa as well. And so there are a few toys that that Rebecca came and collected last week. But then, of course, I found some more. So I messaged her, and I actually saw Barbara on Monday night, and Barbara is the mother of the person who set up the care homes, care homes project, Tina, who set up Embracing Age. Tina doesn't live on the island, but Barbara does. And you're here now. That's all that matters. Absolutely, Sarah. And it's lovely to have you in the broadcast. And I haven't done the advent calendars yet. I'm just doing the other bits and pieces first. So so I found these things and I messaged, and I saw Barbara, and Barbara said, oh, she'd come and get them. But actually, she'd obviously told Rebecca she was going to get them. And Rebecca messaged me last night and said, could she swing by? I said, well, you can, as long as it's not too late, because I'm going to the Christmas Tree Festival today. And I've got to get myself over to Newport because my brother and sister-in-law are taking me, but they're not available till lunchtime. And if they then come to me, they're coming away from the direction of the Christmas Tree Festival. So they want me to get myself into Newport, which I shall do. And then we'll meet up and go from there. But I also need to be back in Ryde for a certain time because my Slimming World weigh-in, my first weigh-in, is tonight. So I don't want to miss that. So it's a very busy day. So I also need to package up something to send to my granddaughter, something crafty that she needs to make some craft stuff. And so I'm going to get the taxi to drop me outside Binstead Post Office, and then I'm going to post my parcel and then get on a bus and go from there. So hopefully that will all work out all right. But when I was doing the things for getting the things ready for Rebecca last night, I had a clown sitting on my on the back of my sofa, but it wasn't quite ready. Now I don't know if any of you've seen the clown on my Facebook page, because there was a piece missing from my clown. Now this clown, and I'm gonna, there he's gonna have a cheeky peek at you now. This clown I started when my 13-year-old granddaughter was a baby. I'm not really a slow knitter. I'm a fast knitter as long as I've got the projects in my hand. But if I put them down and away, they don't get knitted. So this was one of the items that I found. Oh, I've got to quickly put a stitch in there before Rebecca comes. There's a stitch that needs putting in the hand there. So I decided earlier this year to finish him off. He was just the knitted body, no features. No, I don't think he even had arms on. Well, he might have had his arms, but he had no face, no hair, no hat. He wasn't stuffed or anything. So he was in a box. So I thought, come on, it's no good him being in a box. We need to get him out and make him useful for something. So I did that, and I did all bar one thing. And one thing was missing, which is why I couldn't give him to Rebecca the other day. And I don't know if any of you saw the picture, did you? Did any of you see the picture on my Facebook page? Because I'll tell you what was missing if you haven't seen it. And maybe you haven't. He only had one thumb, right? This was the thumb he had. This hand did not have a thumb. But now you can see he has got a thumb, because I thought, well, I better get that done. And late last night, I decided I was going to do it, although it wasn't late last night. I went to bed early. I was so tired. I was supposed to be making all these lovely greetings cards, and I showed that at the beginning of the broadcast. Look, hang on. So I was supposed to be making the greetings cards. So there's a lovely snowy one. Look, I don't know how well you can see that. And there's another one. They've got to get sentiments on yet, but there's another one. Got to put a sentiment in the middle of this. It's been snowing around here a lot, and I was supposed to be getting on with that, and I was so tired. I felt I had to go to bed, but then I thought I can't go to bed without the clown having his thumb, because Rebecca's coming this morning to collect him. So I have a pile of patterns, and I knew which pile the pattern was in to knit the thumb. How lucky was I when I just went like that into the pile, and the second pattern I pulled out was the clown the clown pattern I needed to make the thumb. So I was so glad that I didn't have to go through them all or pull them all off the shelf. And then so I came around the other side of the bookcase that's there, and over here I have a drawer with all knitting needles in, and I needed size 11 knitting needles, and there on the top of the drawer were some number 3 or 11 knitting needles. That's the conversion. So was I glad? And then over there in one of the Kallax boxes, I knew where the white white wool was, and I pulled it out and found my wool. So I went and sat on the bed and I knitted the thumb. And I was going to sew it on, but I had no scissors on the bed. I had a needle at the side of the bed, for darning up and sewing it up. But I was too tired, so I didn't get out of bed. I decided that I would do that this morning. And I have done it this morning. Look, he has a thumb. He's going to give you a thumbs up. So this is my clown. And he will go and accompany somebody in a new home, in the one of the care homes, and he will be very loved by somebody. And so I'm so glad that he's there. But also in that drawer, guess what? There's another body of a clown, different colours. I think he's got blue and white stripe. So that and some other half-finished toys are projects for me in the new year, but not just at the moment because I'm busy on other things. So he's going off shortly, but I have just noticed that there's a little stitch undone there. I need to quickly stitch him, so I will have to be finished by about 10:15 so that I can quickly put those stitches in before Rebecca comes at 10:30. Oh my goodness, there's no rest for the wicked. So that's the busyness of my flat now is an absolute tip. I bought the trolley in of stuff from the craft room, and I've got craft stuff here. I've got craft stuff on the floor, craft stuff over here, because I have so many bits that I need, and then I'll knock something and it will fall on the floor. I've got a basket with all these cards in it, and I knocked a table and they all get slid across the floor. But never mind, it gives me the exercise because I'm supposed to be, doing some exercise because I don't get out much to walk anymore like I did. So I need to do that. Anyway, let's crack it. I'm just trying to I can see the time on my watch, actually, on my phone. I didn't realize I could. So let's get on. And we only got a small audience today, but it doesn't matter. Small but important. And the other people can watch it on the replay later, because I know some of them like it. So anyway, so my Galaxy chocolate one, the one that counts as one sin. So I can have one of these, and it's way in tonight, folks. So we'll see how I do. But one sin is not too many. I can have quite a few sins. That's what I'm allowed under the Slimming World regime. So let's see. I'm allowed far more than one sin. So here is door number 7 over here. Let's get into door number 7. And door number 7 has the important people. Absolutely, Sarah, the important people are here. And number 7 is a little chocolate Father Christmas. All right. So I will be having that when I have some coffee. I think I've got time enough to make myself a coffee and get organized before I need to go out. And there's this amazing Christmas tree festival I'm going to. Chris ran it for I think 22 years. It started off as a small Christmas tree festival in Bryston, which is where Kath Cooper, who comes into the broadcast, she lives over in Bryston, and it started in Bryston as a small Christmas tree festival, and like Topsy, it grew and grew and grew. And last time I went before COVID, I went over and I live streamed, and there were nearly 200 trees, and I live streamed every tree. They were in 7 different venues, and they did a shuttle bus service to get from one venue to the next. And it took me a long time, as you can imagine. Well, I haven't got that sort of time today. I will take some photographs. I will certainly not be able to live stream all the trees. I might do a quick live stream, but, bearing in mind I'm not going to get there till so I suppose we'll be there before 1, I think, and then we need to be home. I need to be home sort of late afternoon, just coming into tea time for my Slimming World weigh-in, which is at the bottom of my road, so that's fine. But I've got to remember to take my Slimming World book and a packet of something that I want the Slimming World lady to look at, because it's not on the app. She said bring the package and she'll have a look, and that's, so I've got to remember all the bits. It's a day of remembering lots of bits, and I don't remember so well these days, but you know, sometimes I'm okay. So there we are. So that's lots of what I've got to do. But what I am going to do now is open the other. Oops, I've just knocked my train down. That's my train. My train was balanced up there. The train that I made, that I copied from Crafter's Companion Michelle McCarthy, and that's one I also taught my people in the workshop in the Crafty workshop to do, and it was balanced on the top of a lot of Kleenex tissues boxes. Look, lots of these. And the reason I've got these is not because I've got a cold or I'm expecting to get a cold. I've got a whole lot of them, but I'm going to make covers. Jan Brown in Crafter's Companion made covers to go on these tissue boxes, and so I ordered a pile of these to make as fundraisers. Thank you, Sarah. That's very nice of you to say that. And I'm sure you're very talented too, Sarah. So I'm going to, use Jan's measure. I'm going to copy what Jan did on the craft along and do that. But after I'd done that, I think it was Carol Ann Hendy, who lives not on the Isle of Wight, as Ben said the other day, because he does get us muddled up. She lives on the Isle of Man and I live on the Isle of Wight. Anyway, she and I have become friends as well, like you and I, Sarah, from Crafter's Companion. Some of the Crafter's Companion people are coming in now to the broadcast, which is nice. And I think it was Carol Ann who told me that there are some tubeless toilet rolls, and they make a great idea to go into a tissue box cover, because you pull and you have to pull it off, tear it to pull it off, which might stop some of the toddlers pulling out all the tissues out of the tissue box. Yes, Sarah's going to check that craft along too with Jan. It looks like a good one. Yes, except that I've forgotten when it was, so we'll have to do a search on YouTube. So anyway, let's get a crack on, because it's 10 o'clock now and I mustn't be much longer. So I have caught up with Craig Laird, he's a presenter with Crafter's Companion, and every day he puts up a video of what he's made with the contents of what comes out of the calendar on that particular day. So I've watched all 6 broadcasts so far of what he's done. I've not had time to make my own things for that because I'm too busy making things for other people. But I will have a go with those things, even if it takes me till the new year to do it. But yesterday he made a little box, a nice little box with the contents. So yesterday it was a stamp and a die and another little stamp that said thank you. So today we're going to guess. Who's going to guess what's in the box? We haven't got many people here to guess, but some of you can try and guess. So we've had stamps and dies. We had an embossing folder. We had glitter paste, glitter glue. That was in one of them. What else did we do? Oh, we had some charms, didn't we? We had some charms in one of them. So let's see. Door number 7 is quite a big one today. So if I open the outer bit, then you can see what size and then guess accordingly. Wait a minute, let's see. See if I can find where you put your finger in. Where is it? Oops. Oh, it's that side. Right. So this is door number 7 here, down the bottom here. So it's quite a big one. I can't feel anything. The only one I did guess probably what it was this one, because when it was a long thin one, and I could feel the bottle. When I touched the thing, I could feel the bottle. So I pretty much guessed. Hello, there's Carol Ann now. Missed all your videos apart from day one. Had awful internet issues. Hopefully back up now. Had a toothache. Oh dear, lots of resting and craftiness today. So Carol Ann, was it you that recommended the tubeless toilet rolls to me? That I was just talking about making some covers to go over. Like the tissue boxes. So I think it was you, Carol Ann. Sarah thinks if it's big, it could be stamps. If it's big, it could be stamps. If it's big, it could actually be a stencil, couldn't it? Or another embossing folder. What do you think? Anyone else going to guess? Not many of you here, so maybe I won't hold on because I've got to finish the broadcast shortly because I've got such a busy day. Then maybe I just need to crack on. Let's just go in it. I think, what am I going to say? I'm going to say a stencil. I'm going to say a stencil. Sarah thinks it's going to be stamps. Let's have a look. Oh, I should have stuck with my first option. Sarah said stencils or embossing, and guess what? Whoops, it's beautiful, and I can't get it out. I need my pokey tool to poke it out. I nearly said an embossing folder, but went for stencils instead. It's another beautiful embossing folder, and it's got lots of leaves on it. Can you see? And so for those of you who don't know, this is all raised up in here. One side is embosses and the other side debosses. You put your card in here, you put it through the die machines with the appropriate plates that go in the machines, and it embosses your card. It's very pretty, and it embosses your card. And this on these cards that I'm making, look, I have used embossing. I've embossed them. I don't know if you wait a minute. Can you see the detail? I think you can see the detail. So I've embossed those bits of card that are on this on the cards I'm making, and that embossing folder came out of the 12 Days of Christmas, the compendium, whatever. What do we call them? The showstopper deal. And it's got snowflake, it's got mistletoe and pretty leaves, and I think there's probably some holly. Yes, some holly as well. So there we go. So that's what is in today's. And let's tell you about tomorrow. Tomorrow is number 8. I'm not going to open it, but it's quite a big one again. Look. It's quite a big one there. So it's quite big. Not as big as today's, I don't think. Not quite as big. It's a bit narrower. So I wonder what that will be. But I'm not going to open it. I'm going to wait for the surprise. I'm also waiting. I'm waiting on an Amazon delivery today, but it's something small that will go through the letterbox. So it doesn't matter. Oh, you can see the embossing. It's so pretty. Yes, it is. I mean, that's another that's it done again on a pearlized piece of card. Look, it's just so beautiful. I just love embossing. I can't help it. I just love it. It's beautiful. It's fascinating. And so is the other sort of embossing, the hot tool embossing, where you glue, you print something with glue. You might put a stamp in the glue and then print it on the paper and put embossing powder over it and heat it. Well, that's absolutely fascinating. For anybody who hasn't seen that, that's really fascinating. Well, it's fascinating if you have seen it, but it's amazing. And lots of people have got into crafting by seeing somebody do hot embossing. So I must do some of that. But at the moment, I have this project where I must get these cards done. Then if hoping the dies come. I've got 2 dies that I'm waiting. You love my hat and glasses today, Lynn, did you? No, I didn't. This is a hat in the a cat. Oh, ouch. The glasses are hurting my ears. This is the hat in the Cat in the Hat, Dr. Seuss hat that I bought in town one year. And I have so many different hats. Can't beat a stencil, so brilliant. I haven't used my glitter pastes yet. Which I will be using on the stencils, but the embossing folder is fantastic, as I say too. But I'm waiting for these 2 dies to come, and I'm not going to say what they are because somebody who might watch the broadcast on replay will know who I'm talking about, whose birthday it is, and I don't want to spoil the surprise. But they've done a lot of things for me, and I was racking my brains to think, what can I make for the birthday card on Saturday? I'm seeing them tomorrow. What can I make? And I have thought of something so appropriate. They come to my house and they help me lots, and they do all sorts of things helping me. And when I couldn't quite finish off my IKEA drawer the other day, John helped me um, understand the instruction and then put the last screw in, because I was a bit confused, and doesn't take much. And so they will help me around with little bits and pieces, all sorts of things they've done, and they've taken loads of stuff to the tip. So I have in my head something very appropriate. I'm not going to spill the beans now, and I will have to put the picture up. I won't probably be able to show you physically, because I don't want them to see the card before I give it, and then I will be out and give it to them, and I won't probably be live streaming when I'm with them. So I will have to take photographs of it, because I don't want them to see what it is. But it's, I hope it's going to be a wower, a showstopper card. I like those sort of things that pop out and that actually make you look, and that people want to keep and don't want to get rid of. So as I say, I'm hoping that Amazon won't let me down. If Amazon let me down, then I have to have a plan B. And I don't have a plan B at the moment, but I'll probably have to find one. But I think that it does say on my app that the goods are in transit and they should be here today. Let's hope they are. Also coming from Amazon is another of those magnetic telescopic tools, because I keep dropping my dies on the floor. I did it again today. Some of them are so tiny and they just pop out of your hand or pop out of the folder when you're trying to do the job, and then they fall on the floor and then they go far away, and then you have to go searching for them. So I've mislaid my magnetic tool, so I have ordered a new one. It sounds like great. You look forward to seeing your picture. Yes, so I will put pictures up of the card when it's done. So that's that. I'm thinking also about family and things I'm making for family, things that will be appropriate. I've got a bit of knitting to do for my two youngest grandchildren. They've just had their bedroom converted, and it's just amazing. And I'll tell you, it's they've got on one wall, they've got a scene, and it looks like you're actually in the park, right? It's all green, and then they've got a green carpet, so it's like being out in the park or in a field or whatever. And I'm not going to say, in case they watch, I don't know if they watch any of my live streams or whatever. I'm not going to say, but they're also going to have. They've also got a branch they've made a little hidey hole at the end of the bed that the children can climb in, and they're going to have a branch across the room to the door, so, like it's a tree in the park. So I've got my knitting books, and I've got a particular two knitting books that are just right for this project. But again, I will have to take pictures. I don't want to spoil the surprises. It is things I've knitted before, so any of you who have watched my knitting before possibly might be able to guess from things I've said, but maybe not. So I'm not gonna spill it. I'm not gonna spill the beans now, because I don't want to spoil the secret. But I do want to share with my lovely community here some of it. So I just have to hint at it for you. So anyway, tomorrow is it's craft a long day, and if you weren't watching the other day, sorry. Tomorrow we are making bunting. So this is the bunting. Well, it doesn't have to have words on it. It can have Christmas pictures. It can have whatever anybody wants to put on it. I've just thought, for a basic idea, I've put Happy Christmas on mine. This is all Crafters Companion items. The card, the embossing folder. It's the same embossing folder that I just, whoops, you can't see. The same embossing folder that's on the other one I showed you just now. The card came from Crafters Companion. The wool didn't. That came from a wool shop. But apart from that, the glue did. So I am pretty much, Crafters Companion. But I do choose a few other things. And I have got something in my stash down here that I also want to make for the people I'm seeing tomorrow. And again, it's something a bit appropriate, but I'm not going to tell you. Again, I'll have to put a picture up on that one. If people don't want to make bunting tomorrow, they can make little, whoops, hang on, stop it spinning. Little Christmas tree decoration. Oh, she's got no nose and mouth. That one's not finished, but she will have. So they can make bits and pieces like that. Look, there's a. Or they can make bunting with all these sort of things instead. It doesn't matter. You can do what you like. So it's a free workshop. It's funded by Isle Access, or I mean, there's two lots of funding, and I think at the moment Isle Access are paying me for my for just for the materials. I don't want anything more than just cover the cost of my card, because if I use a lot of card, then I deplete my stock. So they're just going to pay for the card. I don't want them to pay anything else. You know, that's I do it for charity. So that's it. So I've got some gingerbread men here ready to make up, all sorts of bits and pieces. You can see I'm in my happy place and in my element, can't you? It's such fun. So anybody who's having issues with mental health problems, take up crafting, take up knitting. I mean, we knitted our way a lot through the pandemic, and I did the live streams, and a lot of knitters joined me, and we made loads and loads of things, and everybody said how mindful it was. It's the same with paper craft. It's probably the same with any craft. I've tried quite a lot of crafts in my time. At the moment, my absolute favorite is the paper craft, very closely followed by the knitting and the crochet. So there we are. Sarah's saying they look fantastic, Lynn. I mean to say they look fantastic. Her big fat fingers did a mistake. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This is what happens. You know what you should do? My son taught me to dictate, to use the voice mechanism. If you're doing it on your phone, hit the microphone button and just dictate into the phone, but do make sure you check it, because phones have a naughty habit of putting rude words, and sometimes I have once sent one with a rude word. Fortunately, it was to somebody who it was okay. It didn't offend, because I think it was one of my family members. I think it might have been my daughter, and she said, "Mum, check your messages before you actually push the other button, because it can be very offensive." So now I try and make sure that before I send a message, I've actually checked it, because Siri does sometimes put a naughty word instead of the word you mean. So folks, I really need to go now. I need to go and put those last couple of stitches in the old Mr. Clown's. This is a bedtime clown, and you could also knit his toothpaste and his toothbrush and and an alarm clock, and I think he's got a wee willy type candle, one of those candles in an old-fashioned candlestick, for anybody who doesn't really know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I know what I'm talking about, but there you go. So what a great idea. Yes, those words can get tricky. Absolutely. So yes, so use the voice dictation. And my son taught social media, and he came to a ladies group that I used to network with, and one of the things he said to them was, how would you like more time back? And they all said yes, and he taught them to dictate in their phone, because I think you can talk, is it 4 times as fast as you can type or write? And if you do all your things by dictation, you will save time and time and time, lots of time. He worked it out, how if you wrote so many emails a day, if you're running a business, you wrote so many emails a day, and then all those things, he worked out that you could actually get some days back in your year, by not typing, but by using voice dictation. Anyway, that's it. We're going to go now. There's my friend saying goodbye. Now he's got his thumb, this is the new thumb. So we give you a thumbs up with that there. And so he only waited 13 years to be complete, but never mind, he's complete now. And that's what counts. So we're off to go and just finish off the things before Rebecca comes. Bye bye, everybody. Thank you for joining me. And I think tomorrow, oh, I'm not quite sure what I'll be. Thumbs up to you both. Thank you. Not quite sure what time I'm streaming tomorrow because, of course, I go out early on a Friday, so it will be a later stream tomorrow because there's no point in doing it before 8:30 because our UK people won't be up. Sarah might be, but the UK people won't be. So I'm not quite sure because I'm also having lunch with the people whose birthday things I've got to do as well. So it'll probably be late afternoon here in the UK when I do my opening tomorrow, and then perhaps back earlier on Saturday and Sunday. Bye, everybody. See you soon. Take care. Thumbs up from me as well, and the clown. Bye.